In this video, we're going to be solving linear inequalities in one variable, and this is going to be part 1. In 1, it says, given the inequality 4 is less than 8. In A, they want us to add 3 to both sides. And if we add 3 to both sides, we're going to have 4 plus 3 is less than 8 plus 3. And it asks, is the inequality still true? 4 plus 3 is 7. Is less than 8 plus 3 is 11, and 7 is less than 11. So this is true. In B, we have subtract 5 from both sides. So we have 4 minus 5 is less than 8 minus 5. And it wants to know if the inequality is still true. 4 minus 5 is negative 1, is less than 8 minus 5 is 3. And negative 1 is less than 3, so our inequality is still true. In C, it says multiply both sides by 4. So we have 4 times 4 is less than 8 times 4. And it wants to know if the inequality is still true. 4 times 4 is 16, and 8 times 4 is 32. And 16 is less than 32, so our inequality is still true. In D, we have divide both sides by 4. So we have 4 divided by 4 is less than 8 divided by 4. And now they want to know if the inequality is still true. And 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. 1 is less than 2, so our inequality is still true. In E, it says multiply both sides by negative 4. So we have 4 times negative 4 is less than 8 times negative 4. And now they want to know, is the inequality still true? 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. And 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. Negative 16 is not less than negative 32, so our inequality is not still true. And now they want us to rewrite the inequality so it is true. And in order to write this inequality so it is true, we're going to want to flip the inequality. So we would say negative 16 is greater than negative 32. In F, it says divide both sides by negative 4. So we have 4 divided by negative 4 is less than 8 divided by negative 4. And now they want to know if the inequality is still true. 4 divided by negative 4 is negative 1. And 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2. Negative 1 is not less than negative 2, so our inequality is not still true. And now they want us to rewrite the inequality so it is true. And again, we're going to flip the inequality sign, so we're going to have negative 1 is greater than negative 2. And now they give us the properties of inequalities. And the biggest one to remember is what they showed us in E and F, is if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you need to flip the inequality sign so it's still true. So now in 2, it says the interval from and including negative 20 over 3 to infinity was found to be the solution to the inequality negative 3/4 x minus 1/2 is less than or equal to 9/2. Could this be correct? And this could be correct, so we'll say yes. And the way to verify this is if we look at our interval, we go from negative 20 over 3 to infinity. So 0 is part of this interval they gave us. And we have negative 3/4 x minus 1/2 is less than or equal to 9/2. So if we plug 0 in for x, we would have negative 3/4 times 0 minus 1/2 is less than or equal to 9/2. And negative 3/4 times 0 is 0. So this would tell us that negative 1/2 is less than or equal to 9/2, which is true. In 3, it says solve, graph the solution, and write the answer in interval notation. Check your answers. So in A, we have negative 6x minus 1 is less than or equal to 2 minus 3x. So the first thing I'm going to do is add 6x to both sides. And when I do that, I get negative 1 is less than or equal to 2. And we have negative 3x plus 6x is plus 3x. And now I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. And I have negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3. And negative 3 is less than or equal to 3x. And now we're going to divide both sides by 3. So I have negative 1 is less than or equal to x. So now in order to graph the solution, and because our inequality is x is greater than or equal to negative 1, we're going to have a solid dot on negative 1 because we're including it. And then we're going to shade everything greater than negative 1, and I'm going to use the highlighter. And now if we want to state the solution in interval notation, we would have from negative 1, and we're going to put brackets around negative 1 because we're including it, all the way to infinity. And infinity always gets parentheses. And now if we want to check our solution, we're going to plug a number that is in our solution set into the original inequality and make sure it's true. And because 0 is part of my solution, I'm going to use 0 to check. So I'm going to say negative 6 times 0 minus 1 is less than or equal to 2 minus 3 times 0. And negative 6 times 0 is 0. So I have negative 1 is less than or equal to 2 minus 0, which is 2. And negative 1 is less than or equal to 2. In B, we have 5 times 4 minus 3x is less than 7 times 3 minus 4x plus 12. And the first thing we're going to want to do is distribute the 5 through the parentheses on the left side of the inequality and the 7 through the parentheses on the right side. So we're going to have 5 times 4 is 20. And 5 times negative 3x is negative 15x. And that is less than 7 times 3 is 21. And 7 times negative 4x is negative 28x. And then we have plus 12. And now on the right side of the inequality, I'm going to add my like terms. So I have 20 minus 15x is less than, and we have 21 plus 12 is 33 minus 28x. And now I'm going to add 28x to both sides and subtract 20 from both sides. So I have 28x minus 15x is 13x, and we're going to say that that's less than 33 minus 20 is 13. And now we're going to divide both sides by 13, so we have x is less than 1. And because we're strictly less than 1, we're going to put an open circle on 1. And now I'm going to shade everything left or less than 1. And now to state this in interval notation, we're going to have from negative infinity to 1 with a parenthesis around 1 because we're not including it. And now we want to check our solution. So I have 5 times 4 minus 3. And now for x, I'm going to choose 0 again because it's the easiest number for me to pick, is less than 7 times 3 minus 4 times 0 plus 12. And now 4 minus 0 is 4, and 5 times 4 is 20. Is less than, we have 3 minus 0 is 3, times 7 is 21, and then we have plus 12, and 20 is less than 33. So our inequality is true. And now in 4, it wants us to write the answer in interval notation where applicable. So in A, we have 3 times x plus 5 is greater than 6x minus 5x plus 17. So the first thing we're going to do on the left side of the inequality is distribute the 3 through the parentheses. So I have 3x plus 15 is greater than, and now I'm going to combine my like terms. I have 6x minus 5x is x plus 17. And now I'm going to subtract x from both sides and subtract 15 from both sides. And I have 3x minus x is 2x is greater than 17 minus 15 is 2. And now we're going to divide both sides by 2. So we have x is greater than 1. And in interval notation, we would show that as 1 to infinity with parentheses on both sides. In B, we have 3 times x plus 5 is less than or equal to 6x minus 3x plus 17. So again, we're going to distribute the 3 through the parentheses. We get 3x plus 15 is less than or equal to 6x minus 3x is 3x and plus 17. And now if we subtract 3x from both sides, we'll have 15 is less than or equal to 17. And 15 is always less than or equal to 17. So you can place any x into this inequality and it's true. So in interval notation, we're going to have from negative infinity to infinity. In C, we have 3 times x plus 5 is greater than 6x minus 3x plus 17. So now we're going to distribute the 3 through the parentheses and get 3x plus 15, and that's greater than, now we have 6x minus 3x is 3x plus 17, and now if we subtract 3x from both sides, we get 15 is greater than 17. And because 15 is not greater than 17, there's no solution here. And that's our video on solving linear inequalities in one variable, part 1.